The world is filled with traps at every street corner, ready to take away your masculine power. Just take a look at every famous movie or show on Netflix that is promoted, or the type of people who are idolized today. Nothing escapes the elite's agenda of mind control. Men are brainwashed to accept weakness. There is a very famous story about a lion that I want you to listen to. Once upon a time, there was a fierce lion feared by all. One day, the lion fell in love with the farmer's daughter, but there was a problem. The farmer hated the lion, and upon learning of the lion's love for his daughter, he wanted to do everything to prevent it. So, the cunning farmer calls the lion and tells him that he will only allow him to marry his daughter under one condition: that he removes his sharp claws for the safety of his daughter. The lion thought, "This is just a small price for a great reward. Why not?" The lion goes to a rock and breaks his claws. The next day, he goes to the farmer and says, "Now, I have no more sharp claws. Now give me your daughter's hand in marriage." But the cunning farmer tells him to do one more thing, to remove his sharp teeth and fangs. The lion also accepts this condition and breaks his sharp fangs. However, when the lion returns to the farmer the next day, the farmer attacks the lion and kills him. This time, the lion had neither claws nor sharp teeth to defend himself. All that made him strong, he had chosen to willingly give up, one by one. Remember, brother, the world you live in today is no different. There are much greater forces at play that have carefully designed the matrix to keep you enslaved to your desires and impulses. And here's the harsh truth. You can blame the farmer or the elites as much as you want, but in the end, it's the lion who chose willingly to obey them. The strength and virtue that all men must follow, whether in professional, financial, or romantic life. Every man naturally desires to feel dominant, strong, and powerful, because that's what you are. All men desire a strong impulse. Many of us lack this impulse because we engage in behaviors that prevent us from becoming the strong men we were destined to be. Today, men complain about everything, spend a lot of money on drugs and pornography, and even apologize for things that don't require apologies. That said, let's examine the 7 things and habits that weaken men. But before we start, please check your subscription to this channel. This video was made with a lot of care and deserves your attention. If you appreciate it, activate the notification bell to not miss any other videos. And as usual, don't be weak. Stay until the end. Number 1. Mocking others. This is a point that few people address, but of great value. You should never look down on others. You may have heard the example of the crab bucket. When a crab is about to escape the bucket, others pull it back. If you find yourself mocking others, remember this: you are beneath them. Of course, it doesn't mean you shouldn't correct someone for their mistakes, but don't make jokes about it. As a man, you must teach and guide your brothers without resentment or ulterior motives. Remember that strong and confident men don't belittle others, but are there to support and uplift them. This point may seem obvious, but it is very necessary, especially in the current generation. Listen to what Mike Tyson says: "Social media has made you very comfortable disrespecting people without getting punched in the face for it." Number 2. Failure to take responsibility. Let's go back to the story of the lion and the farmer's daughter. The main reason the lion loses everything in the end is due to his lack of awareness of his responsibility. His responsibility was to live as a lion. His sharp claws and fangs were part of what made him a lion, but he forgot this responsibility and chose to abandon it. It's the same in your life. Embrace your responsibilities with pride. I want you to say with me, "I will honor my responsibilities with pride because they are what make me a man." The day you choose to shirk your responsibilities is the day you choose to completely abandon your masculinity. I want you to memorize this quote: "The price of greatness is responsibility." Listen again. The price of greatness is responsibility. Don't miss the opportunity to master your emotions. Number 3. Avoiding failure. This is a challenge for many men nowadays. Most men always choose comfort over growth. Remember that growth is painful and is often hidden behind failure. There is a famous example of the man digging for diamonds. He doesn't know how deep the diamond is below the surface, but he keeps digging. Initially, he only sees dirt with each shovel stroke, but he keeps digging. After a few hours or even a day, he finds what he was looking for. So, remember, brother, failure is not the end. If that's the mindset you have, be sure you will never succeed in anything. Think of something worthwhile. Let's say you start a business. At the beginning, you may encounter so-called failures in trying to learn the business and acquire clients. But it's only when you stay in the game long enough and don't try to escape those temporary failures that you see yourself progress. It's the same with women. At first, when you approach them, you may seem like a strange man who doesn't know how to interact, but your success is hidden behind those temporary failures. It's a small price a strong man must pay to succeed. We are often taught from childhood to be ashamed of our mistakes and failures, to try to justify them by blaming someone else. You may have said, "It's not my fault," or "It's that person's fault." Those are the thoughts of a loser. I want you to listen to this quote and write it down somewhere if you wish. It's a weak man who attributes his failure to the strength of others. Number 4. Submission to feudal laws too easily. Want to know the difference between a coward and a man of great value? It's simple. The coward will always side with the majority, even if what they say is clearly false. And the worst part is that the coward expects the man of great value to also submit to these feudal and harmful laws and regulations. A man of great value always examines and judges everything before deciding to follow. In today's world, we have been so conditioned to think that you shouldn't judge, or that you shouldn't do this or that. It becomes uncontrollable. You are just a puppet and a lab rat at this stage. You submit to all the agendas and laws they create. There is nothing wrong with obeying, but obey only what aligns with your purpose, your mission, and above all, the law of God. Nothing is above the law of the Almighty. Ask yourself if you are someone who easily allows themselves to be intimidated and tries to please everyone. For some men, learning to say no can be incredibly difficult. But if you act based on the truth for the first time, you will understand that the world won't revolve around you. I have seen so many men living in fear in their marriages, as if their wives were some kind of tyrants and they dare not speak or correct them, and maintain a masculine posture. Remember that your body language is easily the first and simplest way to prevent someone from taking advantage of you. In the 6th place, waste not your youthful years. We have always discussed the importance of your youthful years on this channel. Your 20s and even your 30s to some extent are what we call the golden days. These are the days when you must build, and build. Think of a farmer planting a seed. He doesn't expect the seed to bear fruit the next day. In your 20s, just like the farmer plants seeds, you must plant spiritual, emotional, and physical seeds that will help you grow. But here's the most important part. Don't expect to harvest these fruits immediately. Just keep planting. Before you know it, you will have planted forests and gardens that attract the right kind of life. By planting, I mean challenging yourself. Use it to your advantage, especially when you are young. You may feel like you're missing out on the culture of dating multiple people by investing in yourself, but resist that impulse. You may not understand it now, but as you mature and age, you will thank yourself for not getting distracted. Listen to what the wisest man on earth has to say about your youthful years. These are the words of Solomon. Rejoice, young man, in your youth, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Walk in the ways of your heart and the sight of your eyes. But know that for all these things, God will bring you into judgment. Number 7, being lazy and unproductive with your time. What time do you go to bed? And what time do you wake up? How is your day structured? What do you do when you come home from work? These are all questions you must seriously consider. Don't see them as secondary tasks that you can consider when you have free time. As a man aspiring to success in all areas, you must carefully plan your day. Think about why the powerful succeed so well in building the matrix. Every aspect and domain have been carefully planned. Similarly, think about every part of your day, the type of people you interact with, the content you consume. If you don't have the right thoughts in your mind, rest assured that you have given open access to the matrix to penetrate you. Laziness is the greatest enemy of men today. If you allow it, laziness will gradually creep into you without you realizing it, devouring you and preventing you from progressing productively in your life. Always remember, brother, that laziness has a chance only against weak men, because a man of great value quickly learns to detect and correct it. Always be aware of laziness and fight it as soon as possible. So remember, brothers, weakness is the virtue of modern society. Weakness is what they seek. but strength is your greatest virtue. Seek strength at every opportunity, and remember that God is your greatest strength. Oh, and don't forget to show your support. Click the subscribe button and hit like on the video, so the algorithm understands that the video is good and recommends it to more people. Stay on the screen and watch the videos that will appear here. Until next time.